Hello and welcome. I'm Roger DeVoe and I'm super excited to be sharing this with you today because in today's video, I'm actually going to show you how to use video from the Hangouts that I showed you how to use in a previous video to build either a whole lead capture funnel or more specifically today, a webinar funnel. And the reason why I'm going to show you both is because using the same tools, the same actions, you can either use to build your list through giving away a free download. But why I want to show you how to use it to build webinars, because I firmly believe that webinars are by far the #1 tool that you can use to grow your list, grow your business, connect with your audience, and most importantly, to actually sell your products and services. There's nothing more powerful than being able to look your audience in the eye live, being able to answer their questions when you're trying to sell a product or build your business. So what I'm going to do today is show you how to build one of those funnels. And to do that, I'm going to show you how to do it using the same tool that I use to build all of my sites, my membership programs, my funnels, and that's called OptimizePress 2.0. Now I will have a link for that down below if you want to check it out. But why I love this tool is because you can literally use it to build any type of online product or program. And it's only $97 for a 3-site license. So 97 bucks, you can build 3 separate websites, products, programs, funnels with this tool. It's fairly easy to use. And with Google Hangouts, I mean, 100 bucks, you're set up, ready to go and start doing webinars and start selling your products. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how to set up that funnel. I'm also going to show you how to set up OptimizePress 2.0 in your WordPress install on your website. And in a future video, I'm actually going to show you how to use these exact same tools to actually build products and programs that you can sell, whether that's online virtual summits, group coaching, online membership sites, courses, whatever it is. So let's dive in. What I'm going to do, and here's an example where I'll show you, I'm going to show you how to build a funnel just like this, where people are going to be able to land, it sells your webinar, and then when they click, they enter their name and email, bam, they're on your site. So the first step is once you purchase OptimizePress, you're going to go to your download. You're going to see a few options here on the download screen. The only one I want you to worry about today is OptimizePress theme. This is going to be the whole theme design behind your website. If you already have a website up and running, maybe a blog, and you're using a specific WordPress theme, you can install OptimizePress as a plugin. I won't get into that in this video, and chances are you'll have a decent idea of how to do that if you're already running a theme on WordPress. So pretty much the exact same way I'm going to show you how to build this today, you can build using the plugin instead. Optimize member and extra downloads we're going to get into future videos. So all you have to do is download OptimizePress to your computer. Once you've downloaded it to your computer, you're ready to get started. So what you're going to do is head on over to your WordPress install, and what you're going to do is actually go to Appearance, Themes, and you're just going to upload and install the OptimizePress theme, and this is going to let you start building pages. So all you have to do is click Add New Theme. You're going to choose to upload a theme, and then you just find that file on your computer. And now just keep in mind, you want to upload the zip file that you download. Don't extract that file on your computer. You need to actually upload it as the zip file to work. Okay, and after you click Install Now, you'll see that'll load up. What I'd do in the meantime is head back to your OptimizePress dashboard. And again, you would have created this login when you purchased. And down here, you're going to see launching a new site, get a new licensing API key here. Click on that, and that's going to bring you to your keys. So every time you start a new website, you're going to have to come down here and use one of these keys that they give you to launch your new sites. So all you have to do is copy one of these links. Okay, And once that link's copied, you're going to have to post that in over on your WordPress install. I'll show you how to do that in a minute. So when you come back, you're going to see that, bam, our theme is installed. Click activate, and that will become your theme. You're done. You've now installed and uploaded OptimizePress onto your WordPress. Now you're going to see here, error, API key missing or invalid. That's where you take that key you just copied and you're going to paste it in and save it. Okay, and that'll take. And once you've done that, once you've entered that key in, you're going to see that now you have all these options on what you can do and set up. Now, don't worry about that yet. There's still a couple simple things we need to do before we can get started. And the first thing you're going to do is we need to make sure that WordPress is going to work properly and set up the proper links with your OptimizePress blog that you're about to set up. So what I want you to do is go down to settings here at the bottom, and you're going to click right here. You're going to find permalinks. Select permalinks, and this is a very important step, and don't worry too much about why, but what you're going to do is you'll see here, what I do, you click post name. Now what this means is this is selecting when you make a new page or post in your website, this is what it's automatically going to be named. Now for your OptimizePress to work and function properly, you need to make sure, what I do is click post name and then click custom structure. And you're going to see here, it's now made this fancy post name %sign symbol here. If you have that, you're good to go. That's all you need to do. Save changes. And that's it. Now you're ready to start setting up your blog. Now what I want you to realize is I'm going to go through, show you how to set up the basic header of your site and titles, things like that. But before you really get into this, you're going to have to take a step back and figure out exactly how you want your site to look, what you want your homepage to be, what you want people to see. So again, I've already got a good idea of that stuff. So I'm just going to get in and show you how to actually start building your site. Now, the first thing that I always do is I click on OptimizePress here, and these are the general settings. So this is where you get to set up things like your favicon, your SEO options, what you're going to do there. And I'll get into all that in a bit, but I'm just going to show you the basic setup to keep this really simple and easy for you. First thing you're going to do, set up the header or logo you want to show up. Now, you don't have to use a header or logo, and a lot of people kind of flip back and forth on whether you should use one or not. A lot of people will tell you that websites actually convert better if you don't have a header logo and you just have a catchy headline. I like to really, I think that also works better maybe with cold traffic if you're just paying for traffic to go to your website. In my opinion, I like to have a header and logo. I'm not necessarily looking for the most converted people, getting the most numbers, getting everyone to sign up their name and email. I'm looking to really build a relationship with people. I want to have my logo, my header. I want people to see my brand. I want them to see my face, and I want them to get to know me. I want the people who join my list, who follow my blog, who come to my webinars to really have a personal connection with me. I don't just want to hook them and get them. So I always recommend setting up a logo or a banner. Your header is what goes across the whole top of the screen. I like to keep it simple and just upload a simple logo. Now, OptimizePress will tell you what sizes you need. If you don't have Photoshop and you can't make your own headers and logos, you can easily go on something like Fiverr.com, get someone there. You just send them maybe a nice picture of yourself, the name of your business or website, and send them the dimensions you need, and they'll whip it up for you there. So what I'm going to do is just select file from my computer, and I'm going to upload the logo that I have. And then you scroll to the bottom, you'll see the size here. I don't want to put the full size image because that's too big, but 300 by 68, I'm going to insert that image into the site as the logo, and OptimizePress will automatically size it properly to fit into the top of my website. I'm going to leave the rest blank for now. Background color, I'm fine with white. If you want a different background color for your logo, you can just select pretty much any color here using the wheel. Again, I'm going to keep that just white. So that's my logo. That's all you need to do. You could do the same thing with your header. Now, favicon setup. A favicon is this little image you see up here in the corner. So what I like to do anytime I'm setting up a website, I've just made a little one because my name's Roger and everything I do is branded Roger DeVoe usually. I've made just a little 16 by 16 pixel. Again, oh, I lied, 36 by 36 pixel. Again, someone on Fiverr can make this with your logo set. Just a little image, a little square image that's going to show up in that top corner on your website. And again, you just scroll down to the bottom, insert into post. That's saved. Leave site footer for now. SEO options, just turn it on. OptimizePress has built-in ways to allow your site to be found in Google. So click that to on, but you don't need to do anything with the settings. And the only other thing you need to know for now, don't worry about any of the other options that you see here. Don't worry about any of the other options that you see here. All you're going to do is scroll down and save your settings. Great, so you've got the basic parts of your website set up. Now what we're going to do is start building out pages. So when you hover over OptimizePress over here, you're going to see a list of options. One of the options is called Page Builder. This is what you're going to use to build all of your sites. So the first page that we're going to build is the actual landing page for your webinar. This is where people, or for your free download, this is what people are going to land on, where you're going to try to give them an offer and capture their email in return for something. So name of your page, in this case, because I'm building a webinar page, I like to just call the page webinar. That's because as I'm doing different webinars, I come back to this page and I'll always update it for the latest webinar coming. And automatically, remember we set up that the way that the post page link shows in your permalinks, the page will automatically be called your website URL. In my case, it's thelaunchformula.com/ whatever your page name is. So in this case, /webinar is the page that I'm building. Don't worry about selecting a page thumbnail. And here's where you can either, as you get used to OptimizePress, you can build a blank page. This is the default setting. And you can just build it however you want. If you know how you want it to look, if you have some marketing experience and you understand how to build and structure your sales page or your page to get conversions, go ahead, build your own blank page. What I suggest and what I'm going to show you to keep this easy and simple is use a content template. This is why I love OptimizePress so much. As you scroll down, you're going to see that you have templates for all sorts of different things. Here's just a simple homepage template. You have membership site templates. You have squeeze page and opt-in templates. And we're going to skip all of those for now because we're actually going to go right down to webinar pages. Now, these are some great templates. And even if you have two, you can use this template if you have two speakers on your webinar. Maybe you're interviewing someone. The one that I like most and the one that I'm going to choose is this one host style 3. Now, I'm going to use this one just because I'm going to show you two different ways you can set up this page. One with the opt-in form right on the web page, like you see here in this template, where right on the page people can just enter their name and email. I'm also going to show you how you can change it up to be a pop box like this, where you have a call to action, and when people click it, then it brings up where they can enter your name and email. And there's a reason you want to do that, and I'll get into that in a little bit. So for now, select the template. If you're following along with this video, just select this one to go along with me and go over and proceed to step 2. Great. Now you're in what's called the live editor. So as you see, because I chose that template, it's automatically built and populated this blank page with the general structure of how I want my webinar page to be set up. So all you have to do with OptimizePress is now go in and basically fill in the blanks. Now what is neat is you can grab any of these elements and you can click and you can move them around and drag them if you want them in different places. I don't recommend that. OptimizePress has done a lot of testing on what works well, what doesn't. And so usually the layouts they have on their templates work pretty well. So I like to basically just stick with what they have. and add a few tweaks and things as I go along. So all we're going to do is we're going to start at the top. You're going to see here live webinar with host name. Enter your name. I like to keep it all caps because that's how they had it. Insert. That's it. Now I'm keeping most of these colors. I like the colors. When you're in the editor, and again, OptimizePress has videos that can go into more in depth on this stuff. If you want to start getting in the nitty gritty, I'm just here to really show you how easy and how possible it is for you to do this. Even if you're not a hugely technical, capable person, what you can do is right here though, you'll see the color box. And again, you just click it, choose whatever color you want. If you want that to be red, orange, yellow, green, whatever you want. You just pick your color and then you would just go to the bottom and click insert and the color will change. I'm just going to keep it blue. Down here, they've got a mock title. Here's where you enter the title of your webinar. So this could be whatever title you want. And here you want to put something catchy, something that's going to get people's attention, and insert, and you're going to see your title there. Now again, you can go through and change these fonts to go along with your brand, change the colors, but to keep it simple, I'm just going to use it how it is. So now you've got your top title, your main title, and as you go along, you're going to see over here on the side, you have a bunch of options. Very often, I want you to click this green button. Save and continue. Because if anything happens, you don't want to lose your progress. It's the same as when you're working with a Word document. So every time I do a major change, I like to hit save and continue. You can always click view public link to see what you're doing. But a real easy way to see how it's all coming together, click this show hide controls option here at the left, and it gets rid of all those editor options so you can see pretty much how the website's going to look. So now you're going to come down here and we're just going to change our date. So let's say I'm doing this in December, Christmas Day. I'll set up my webinar right now for Christmas Day. Insert, and then over here, same thing. Let's say Christmas is on a Friday. I don't know what day it is, and I'm not going to bother checking because it doesn't really matter for what I'm doing for you right now. December 25th. And here's where you enter in the time zones. Now, I live in the Eastern time zone. I usually just put Eastern first, and then I put Pacific. You can put whatever works for you, because I have a lot of people that are on the West Coast that like to come to my webinars. I put those two time zones. Again, whatever works for you, it doesn't matter. You don't have to put any if you don't want, but I recommend putting at least one or two just to make it easy for people, because you'd be amazed how often people will show up at the wrong time because they're in a different time zone. Now ignore this. This is your email and autoresponder capture box. Ignore this for now. This is the last thing I'm going to show you how to do. So then as you scroll down, you're going to see here host name again. Just click that little pencil icon that you see me clicking here. Now there are other options and other things you can do. Don't worry, I'll show you what those are after, but for now, we're just going to edit this page. Again, I just want to show you enough where you can go get started. Then you can get into the nitty-gritty detail of how to change it. So I'm just going to enter my name again here and insert. Here, just find any profile picture. Probably the profile picture you're using on social media will work. And again, I'm going to select a file from my computer. If you already have it uploaded or saved on another site, you can use a link to post a picture, but I'm just going to upload from my computer. Here we go, profile picture. Scroll down. I want it full size, insert into post. And again, I know I'm going fast here. There are all these other options. Link, if you want, if people click on your picture, it to take them to another website, that's where you'd enter the link here. I know it seems like I'm going fast, but you can rewatch this over and over. I want you to be able to see how quickly you can be up and running using these tools. So here, during this free webinar, you will learn. You can even just keep that headline. If you want to change it, again, just highlight, click the pencil, and you'll see here the points underneath. So there are 2 points already in. So you would enter your first point here. So you will learn. Okay, and then 2, enter. And again, just here's where you want to enter those key hit points of your webinar. And I'm just kind of making these on the fly, but whatever works for your webinar. Want to keep adding points, all you have to do here at the bottom is click add new. You'll see it comes up with 3. If I clicked add new again, 4. And if you want to get rid of it, just click the little X. So I'm going to add a 3rd point here just to show you what it's like. All right, and then insert when you're done. You're going to see that my points saved. And again, you'll see here's a mistake I made, 1, 2, 2. So just go back to the edit, scroll down, change that bullet to 3. And we're ready to go. So again, now that I've made a few changes, I'm going to save and continue. Then you can keep scrolling down. You'll see where this page says share with your friends. Again, you can change the wording. Go to this social media here, click the edit tool, and here's where you're going to see the different settings. So you'll see URL to like. I usually just leave it for them to like this page, but you can enter in here any other page so that maybe you have a blog. You can have it where when people click like, it likes your blog page. So you can change that there. You can enter different words instead of it just saying share. You can enter in here if you want it when people share it, it automatically tags you in the tweet. You can enter your Twitter handle here. So you'd be like at Roger DeVoe. And again, you can change this button, URL to +1. I would enter here. I would just go copy my Google Plus profile, enter that there. If you want people to like your profile, whatever it is, I'm going to leave it pretty basic and enter share. And down here at the bottom, warning, we only have 1,000 spots on our webinar system. If you're using a program like GoToWebinar, it's very expensive to have a lot of people on. Often people have it capped at 100 guests, maybe 200 when you're just getting started. If that's the case, I would go in here and just change that number. Let's say it's 100 spots. Enter. Now, I use Hangouts, and I showed you how you can use Hangouts to do webinars. You can have unlimited number of viewers watching your webinar. There is no max. So I do suggest you change this. I always change this because I never want you to lie or be dishonest. If you don't have a limited number of spots, don't pretend like you do, just add scarcity. So what I do is I normally add a message in something like this. Like, I don't have a limited number of seats and I'm not going to claim that I do just to get you to sign up. However, lots of people with questions that they want answered will be registering for this event. And I'm going to be sticking around at the end to answer some questions. So make sure you get there live to get your questions in. So I usually say something like that, where I'm just answering questions first come, first serve. So if you want your questions answered, I suggest you register now, get over there and put your questions on the page so that I make sure I get to it in my training and we don't run out of time. And then there's another email box here at the bottom. So I'm just going to click save, and look, already it's only been a few minutes and you've pretty much got a landing page for your webinar set up right here. Just as easy as that. Now, in another video, I'm going to show you how to set up your autoresponder, a program like Aweber or MailChimp or Infusionsoft, whatever it is that you use. I like to use Aweber because I find it's just reliable and the simplest to use. And I'm going to show you how to set that up and how to integrate it with OptimizePress. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to assume you already have an autoresponder up and running. And if not, just keep your eye out for that next video and I'll show you exactly how to do it. So let's take a second to save and close where we're at. And I'll show you once, assuming again you have your autoresponder set up, I'll show you how to connect it to your OptimizePress. So let's just hit save and close. We're back to our main menu. We're going to go back and click on OptimizePress. We're going to go back to the OptimizePress settings. And before, where we were doing the header and things like that was in the global settings, you're going to scroll down and click Email Marketing Services. And you're going to see a whole list here of all the different companies that OptimizePress can actually integrate with really easily. Again, I like to use Aweber. So all you do, you click and you click Connect. It's going to get you to sign in. You allow access when you sign into your account. Bam, you are connected. So now what we're going to do, we're going to go back to pages. Anytime you want to see what you're building, you go back to pages. And I'm going to open up Live Editor. And remember, it's still a draft. This isn't live on the internet until you hit publish. So what I'm going to do is go back to the Live Editor where we're editing our site. And I'm going to show you now how easy it is to integrate this opt-in form here with your autoresponder. So let's say I just wanted to keep this design here. I'm going to click on the edit again. And here in integration type, I'm going to hit this drop down window and you're going to see email data custom form, and now Aweber, because I've connected it, is in the list. So I'm going to select Aweber. It takes a moment, and then what I can do is actually choose from all of the lists. So I'm going to choose one I have for live training, which is what I use when I do my webinars. So the list that you build in your autoresponder, you can find right in that list, and it's as simple as that. The thank you page URL, I haven't made this yet, so you can leave this blank for now. But what I always do is I actually just copy the address of my site and I just make it thank you. So I know that I'm going to build a thank you page onto that domain. So you can decide to do that, or you can come back to this step after you've built your confirmation page and then the actual webinar page. But this thank you page will be the same link that you set up in your autoresponder for after people enter their name and email. If you want to bring them to a page saying, congratulations, one more step you need to confirm, if you're doing a double opt-in, which I recommend, which just means that when people enter their name and email, instead of going directly to the page, it first brings them to a page telling them that they need to go back to their email inbox and confirm that they want to be subscribed to your list. And even though you do have people fall through the cracks and that never get around to actually confirming, what's good about this is, one, just for legal reasons, and if someone ever comes at you claiming spam, you can go back and say, look, they double opted in. They clicked confirm, subscribe. I want to be on this list. So it's good for that way. It's also good because it makes sure that the people on your list really want to be there. They have to go through that extra hoop to get your training or whatever it is that they entered their name and email for. So I think you get a better list out of it. That way it also filters out the people who just enter a fake email to get through to your free stuff. Because without doing this double opt-in, a lot of times the systems aren't smart enough to recognize a fake email from a legitimate email. This also prevents people from signing up with maybe a friend's email that they know, because they need to be able to log into their email to confirm. So this, again, is the same link that you'd make within your autoresponder. And I always go through, make sure that the name field, you just put 1 because you want that above. The email field, you put 2. You don't always have to do this, but sometimes I don't. And I've had problems where my box didn't work. So I like to do that. If you're only requiring people enter their email, you don't care about their name, you just click disable name here and it'll just leave the email form. And then once you've done that, that's when you can go click content up here. This is where you would enter people, Now, hopefully you write something a little more strategic than that, but this is where you tell them again why they're entering, enter your name and email to get register for the webinar. You can leave this or put your own little private spam message. That's the one you see under the button there. And again, some people do like to enter your best email. Again, I usually just leave it, and to keep it simple, we're just going to leave it like this for now. And submit button. I'm keeping the default button. Again, you can play around with it. Don't worry about that for now though. And here you can change what the button says. I like to say, get me on the webinar. You can say whatever you want. And then you hit insert when you're done, and you're going to see that this box now is connected to my autoresponder. So people can actually enter their name and email now once I publish this page, and it will start them going through the process. Now, what I'm going to do, because you notice at the bottom of this page, there is also an opt-in form. So what I'm going to do is actually go over here, see the X. First, I'm going to save and continue my process, because you never know when that comes in handy. If I do something I don't want to do, I can always just exit out without saving and reopen this saved version. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to delete, by hitting this X, I'm going to delete this box, because instead of going through and setting it up the same as the one above, I'm just actually going to come here, and you're going to see in the different options, this one that has a double, looks like a double page. When you click it, it actually just copies that whole element. So I just copied the opt-in box. Then I'm going to scroll over to this arrow, click and hold, and I can actually drag this down to the bottom of the page and put it right there. So now instead of having to redo all that work, I've just copy and pasted it, and I'm going to save and continue. The last thing that I want to show you, again, you can get a little more into customization with this. At first, I wouldn't recommend, just keep it simple. But as you play around, you can actually not just edit these elements, but you can actually edit the entire rows, the entire backgrounds themselves. So let's say I don't like this. I'm going to show and hide the controls again. So let's say I think that this is a little drab looking. I don't like this dark gray that they have as a background here. I'm actually going to hit edit on this entire row. And you're going to see as you scroll down, row background color. So I can again just choose from this color wheel any color I want, and let's update that. So you can just choose from the color wheel any color you want. Or what I'm going to do is you can actually select an image for your background. So I'm going to choose an image from my computer. All right, and then you can scroll down, you can see the properties of your image. Now I'm going to click full size because I want it to be as big as possible. Insert it into the post. You'll see there your image, and you'll see the options here. Center. If the problem with clicking on center your background image is if my image isn't big enough to stretch the entire width of the screen, because someone might be viewing my site on a real high resolution, it's going to show two black bars at the edge. So what I'm actually going to do is click cover stretch. So this will make, no matter what size someone's viewing my page, it's going to stretch that background image to fill out that whole space. Now, if you have maybe a little image that's an even pattern, that's when you can put a small pattern picture into here, and you would click tile, and it will just fill that pattern in the whole background. So that's when you can get a neat, maybe a crumpled paper look or something like that. But again, I'm just going to click cover stretch and update. And there you'll see I have that new background. Let's get a better idea of what it would look like. And I think that looks a little nicer. Again, it's a cleaner look and better than just that dark kind of background. So I'm going to stick with that. Now, one thing that I also find is I like to have a little more call to action, and I also don't like this empty space here. So I'm going to show you now how you can actually add a couple elements with OptimizePress to start to customize and make this look like your own. And I'm just going to do a couple things to give you an idea of what you can do. And then again, we're going to move on to keep this as simple as possible. But I just want you to get an idea of what you can actually accomplish with OptimizePress. So we're going to bring back our controls here. I'm going to scroll down, and I want to add something to fill in this whole space here along the bottom. So all you do is you click add element. Now you can scroll through this list, and these are all of the different things that you can actually add in with OptimizePress. But because I know what I want to add, you can actually search for it. So I want to add a countdown timer. So you see, you just start to type it in and it'll try to guess what you want to add. I want to add a countdown timer. And because I have a bit of a darker background, I'm going to add, but that might be a little small to read. Let's try this one. I'm going to add this big one here. And all you do is enter the date that your webinar is going live. So let's say my webinar is going live Christmas, as we put it, at, let's just say 7 o'clock Eastern Standard Time where I am. Insert. Oh, see, so what I did was, because I added an element trying to fill up this space, this clock, now I can leave it like this. This might actually look a little interesting. Let me see. No, it looks a little messy. So that clock was too wide. So this is really good, because all you do, again, if the element you added isn't quite what you wanted, let's say the same thing with the opt-in box, you want it to maybe be name and email side by side instead of over top of each other, you open up the element, you click this back arrow, and you just choose a different style. So I am just going to stick with this basic style here. It saves the information I already added. So then I insert that, and that's much cleaner. So now I've got that countdown clock on my site, counting down the seconds until the webinar. So that's really neat because it just gives people that extra sense. Now, maybe not 22 days out like I'm building here just for fun, but if that's counting down and people see that there are only 3 hours left to register, 1 day, it gives them a little more incentive to sign up, especially if it's a limited time, maybe a freebie that you're offering. They only have another day to download. Just encourages them to take that action. So I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to save and continue. And now let's take a look. Again, I'm going to hide the controls, and this is looking pretty good. So let's say I'm happy with that. This looks good. I'm going to save it. I'm ready to publish it. All you do is you click on this arrow, publish, save. And that's it. That link is now saved. This page is ready to go live, and you can just click on view public link here to see what it actually looks like. And there you go. So this is the live page that's ready to go for this webinar. People can already start sharing it. And just like that, people can enter their name and email here, and that's ready to go. But now remember, I haven't set up the confirmation thank you page yet, or the actual page the webinar goes on. But don't worry, those are actually a lot quicker and easier to build. And of course, then you can get more detail of it. But one thing I will show you, so I'm going to close this, come back to my editor here. I'm going to show you, if you don't like the look of this opt-in box, what you can actually do is OptimizePress has something called an overlay optimizer. So this basically means that you can have people click a button, and then that button will cause an action. So you can have them click a button and a video pops up. You can have a picture pop up. You can have a text pop up. In this case, I'm going to make it where people click a button saying get me on the webinar, and that email opt-in then pops up. That way, when they first land on the page, it's not an email opt-in right in their face, and it maybe is a little more welcoming. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to bring back my options here, and I'm going to add element. And again, that's called the overlay optimizer. So I'm going to select it, and now I get to design what it's going to look like. So I like just simple. I'm going to pick a large button, normal style. I'm going to make it large. And again, you can play with all this stuff. I'm going to choose light blue as my color. Goes a little more. And button text. Get me on that webinar. Insert. So now you'll see I have this button. And inside this button, I can now add elements. So what I'm going to do is add an element. And now I'm going to go back and search an opt-in box. So I'm going to build the optimize box within this element. So I'm just going to scroll down, find a simple, I like this one. Again, you can choose any of these designs, whatever works for you. There are different ones for both name and email and just email. But for this, because the way I set up my list, I have name and email, I'm just going to pick this one, this box. And here's where, again, you can come over to the form HTML. Again, I select Aweber, and then again, I select my live training list. Here I would enter that same thank you page URL. I'm just going to leave it blank for now. Email field 2 and insert. So the same steps that we did up above. In fact, again, content, I'm actually going to go almost there. And I'm just going to delete this text here. And again, here's where you'd want to keep telling them, you know, one more step, just enter your name and email. You'll get to the webinar, and you want to keep bringing them down the path. But I'm just going to keep it simple. So there we go. Almost there. Name and email, get instant access. And in fact, they're not going to get instant access because it's signing up for a live webinar. So I will go over to the button. And that's it. Register, update. So there we go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this old opt-in box. I do not need it anymore. I'm going to save my progress. And again, I'm going to copy this whole overlay, and I'm going to drag it right down to the bottom of my site. put it in, and I'm going to delete this box as well. So this way, when people land on the site, you're going to see that there's no opt-in form. It's a little less intimidating, but you'll also notice there's a lot of empty space here. So what I'm going to do is actually just add something to fill that space. I'm going to add a couple arrows. So what you do, you just, again, search arrows. Now, if you have a specific type of arrow you want, you could actually just insert an image and put the image of whatever you want, your own arrows in there. But I'm just going to keep this simple and pick from the arrows. Let me scroll down. I like these blue ones, the kind of drawn. What do we have here? Different options. Those are too big. No, I'm just going to keep it simple. So I'm just going to pick these kind of blue drawn arrows. I'm going to keep them centered, insert, and drag them above my bar. Save and continue. And that's it. View public link. Let's see what we've got now. There we go. We've got our countdown. We've got our opt-in boxes. When people click, it asks them to enter their name and email address. We are good to go. So just a few minutes, you see you have an entire landing page. This could be a landing page offering your free PDF download, a video series, whatever it is you put together. You've got a good looking landing page that'll do pretty well. And then again, you can go back once it's built and you can start optimizing it. You can start putting in better information, better catchphrases, hit more of the hot buttons of your market. You can build it and improve it as you go. But again, I just want to help you get started. And this looks pretty good. I mean, I've literally run a few webinars now with pretty much this exact same template, looking the exact same. And I've used it to sell quite a few of my my coaching program, which is a $600 program. It's a group coaching program that I do. And I've just done it through a webinar doing exactly what I'm showing you. So this does work. So what we're going to do now, we're going to come back, we're going to save and close. So that's it. You're going to see now our webinar. We're done with it. That's good enough for me. What we're going to do now is we're going to build that second page, that confirmation page. When they enter their name and email, what do you want to happen? So we're going to go back to OptimizePress, just scroll over it, go down to Page Builder. And here you're going to enter the title. Let's just call it confirmation. And we're going to use a content template. And let's see what we have. Okay, and here's what I want you to do. I'm going to get you to select the help and fact page. Now, OptimizePress, you can sign up to a service that they have where you can download a ton of other templates. It's a membership. I think it's like $150. You join it. They call it their clubhouse. And they have templates for thank you confirmation pages. But again, to keep this simple and to keep it basic with everything that comes with your original license, I'm going to show you how you can just make a simple page, because we don't need this to be a super complicated page. We just need it to get them to understand that they're almost there. They just need to do one more thing, confirm their email. So what I like to do, so now here's the frequently asked questions template. Now we don't obviously need any of this stuff here at the bottom because we don't actually have any frequently asked questions. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to delete this whole section here, delete this whole bottom row. So let's just get rid of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to build off of this that we see here. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to add an element, and it's called a progress bar. And I suggest you do this because it works pretty well. I'm just going to choose the first one here. Again, I like blue because blue is just kind of my color. Percentage 50, complete, sounds good, enter. And I'm going to drag that to the top because people just gave you their name and email to get whatever it is they wanted to get. Maybe it was your report, maybe the webinar registration, whatever it is. And all of a sudden, instead of hitting that page with their report, they're all of a sudden getting this page saying, hey, wait a second, you've got to confirm your email first. So because it's an extra step, I like putting this progress bar to make them think, you know what, you're already halfway there. You've already entered your information. Just do this one more step, go to your email, click confirm and get on the list. I don't even like this little picture here. I'm going to delete that. And this, how can we help you? This headline, again, I don't like the writing font. I'm going to delete that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit this headline here that you see. And I'm going to say, almost done, exclamation point. Just one more step, dot, dot, dot. And I want it a little bigger, so I'm actually just going to deselect a size and let the default headline size come into effect. So let's just insert that. Almost done, one more step. So that looks pretty good. Let's see what we're dealing with here. Almost done, just one more step. Great. So one more thing I'm going to do, I'm going to add an element. I'm just going to add a little bit of text. Text block. And here I'm going to say, all right, and again, I'm just keeping this simple. You might want to put here, if it's for a download, you can say, you know, just one more step to make sure I send it to the right person, you know, to confirm your email, whatever you want to say here. People are usually, if they're signing up for your downloads, this usually isn't the first time they've done it. So they usually have a pretty good idea of what's going on. Now I realize that because these are so close, I'm actually going to open up my text, cut it out, close that. And I'm just going to actually paste it in here. There we go. That looks a lot cleaner. That looks better. There we go. Almost done. One more step. Just confirm your registration and you're done. So down here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually edit these boxes, because I just like that there are 3 sequences. So what I'm going to do, let me just see what my options are for pictures here. Excellent. So I'm going to open this up and say, go to your email. I like to just say, go to their email, look for an email from Roger DeVoe. You can even here insert the subject line of whatever it is that your subject line that you made for your video. Step 2. I'm going to even just pick that envelope with the check mark, and let's just say, so I'm actually going to call this one up here, check email. The second one we're going to just call confirm. Open the email and click the confirm message. Again, you can just tell them what they're going to do, and you can put the actual words. And in fact, it would actually help if you put the exact wording of what they're going to see in that email. And again, you'll get all that from your autoresponder. And then the third and final one, we'll just give it a big old check mark. And here's where you can put, I'm going to put you're done. And in my case, because it's for a webinar, I usually let them go to the webinar page. I'm going to tell them, now if this was a download, you can tell them that you're done. Just simply right click, click save as, you'll get your thing. Or maybe in your autoresponder, you have it set up where after they confirm, their download comes to them in an email. So maybe you're going to say, you're done, wait for the email that says, here's your download, save as. So here what you want to do is just show them that once they do this simple step, you're reminding them what they're going to get. So again, I'm just keeping it quick. I would normally try to write something a little better than this, but it doesn't matter. This is good enough. In fact, most of the time, I find people don't really read it. So you're going to see how simple this looks. Almost done. One more step. Check email, confirm, you're done. Now, you can even just leave it at that. That's good enough. Keeps it nice and simple. What some people like to do is they can actually add in here. Maybe you can add in a special notice. If you have a product or program you just launched, you can enter in a link. Just enter in an image. Let's say you had a banner for a course or a website, or let's say your blog. You can just write image, insert an image, pick the image off your computer, and all you do is you scroll down here where it says link, and you can link that right to your blog, let's say, and insert. And what that would do is put your picture right there, right here as a link, and that way they see this, confirm, you're done, and you can have a link here. You can put social share buttons. Again, you just hit add element, social sharing, and you go down here. You can pick whichever one looks good. Because we have lots of space, I'd probably use something bigger, like these ones here towards the bottom. And URL to like, here's where you would just enter in your social media profiles and platforms, insert, and that looks right there. You can add a headline, have your call to action. And so again, you see how easily you can start building this, and you can go through and take your time and actually see how it looks. The last thing I will show you, you'll see how this is looking a little cramped. One of my favorite little things you can do is add element and just start typing spacing, vertical spacing. And here you can enter any pixel amount. I'm just going to, let's say 60 pixels. Now that's going to add this invisible spacer here, and this will just let you space things out and make them look a little better. So I'm just going to drag that up here, maybe in between my bar and my headline. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy that spacer, and I'm going to drag it down, maybe right above my graph here. Again, just add a little space. And I might even just drag it down again, put it right above my social sharing. So when I take away my controls, oh, I don't know why I brought those back. Delete you again. So when I bring down, take away my controls, you can see it's a little more spaced, looks a little better. And then what I'll actually do, copy it twice, put it underneath there. So it just spaces it out a little better. So that's it. I mean, that's good enough for a confirmation page. It gets your message across, and we can move on from here. So I'm going to again select publish, and this is going to make it live. Save and close. There we go. So I can go back to my pages now, and you're going to see we've got our webinar page. Now we have this confirmation. So I know I said I was going to name it thank you. I named it confirmation. So what we're going to do, we can view it. You're just going to highlight the link, and then make sure that in your opt-in box on your other page, and again, you can just highlight live editor, go right into the page. Just make sure that in your original opt-in box, you have the confirmation page link set for the right page. You'll see I have confirmation. And then you also want to make sure in your autoresponder, you have the link for this page as that second confirmation page. All right, and that's it. So already we've got our sign up page, and when people click, enter their name and email, they're going to instantly be brought to this page, which will then, they'll get an email in their inbox. And then when they click confirm, that's going to bring them to, in my case, the live webinar page. Because what I like to do is let people go to the page that my webinar is going to be live on. And I normally set up Facebook comments. You can set up a chat box. You can set up WordPress comments. I like Facebook comments the most, and I'll get into that why in a moment. But I let people go ahead of time and start asking questions that they think they want to know about the topic ahead of time. So that way it just gets a little bit of energy in the page come time that the webinar is live. You've got questions already you can build off of, gets the conversation going, and it's a little easier to get people into the conversation and interaction. And what's great is sometimes people post those questions to their Facebook page, so it might even get you a few more registrants. So let me show you the fastest way to make that page. And I like to keep it really simple. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually just going to, again, go hover over the OptimizePress, go to the page builder. And this one, I mean, sometimes I like to just keep it simple. I'm going to call it live because it's my live webinar. You can call it download. You can call it whatever you want. I like to just keep it simple. And I'm going to pick a content template once again, just because obviously that's just super easy. And I'm just going to look through. And again, because it's a live webinar, I don't need much. In fact, what I'm actually going to do, why don't I show you then how to actually, what it looks like to build a page without using a template. Because all I want is a page with a headline, my video, comments. I want this plain, simple, almost nothing on the page. So let's choose a blank page, go to step number 2. Now it's going to ask you, do you want a landing page, marketing site page, or membership page? Membership page is if you're building a course. Don't worry about that. I'm going to pick a marketing site page just because it's a flat page. It's not a lead capture page. Don't worry too much about this step. You can't really go wrong in which one you pick. Just changes a couple things. Now here's where you get to choose if it's going to be a full style like we've been doing. You'll see with this page how it goes end to end. You could also choose a template here where you've got it, you know, with the bars on the side, your page is a little smaller. I'm going to keep full width because that's what I've been doing. And header navigation, here's where we can turn it on to have that header navigation we set up in the beginning to show up. But again, I'm actually going to leave it all off because I don't want people having my nav bar. I don't want any of that. So I'm going to save settings, launch editor. So you'll see we're staring at a blank page here, right? Real exciting. But what I'm going to do to make it easy just to get the same look and feel, and I'm going to go back to my webinar registration page. And what I want to do is actually take this live webinar bar you see here and also the title of my webinar, and I want to bring it over to that page without having to actually rebuild it. So what I'm going to do, scroll over OptimizePress Live Editor when you're on your page. This is how you do quick edits. And you'll see one of the options at the top when you have a whole row. And again, a row, as you scroll, you'll see a row come up. A row is just a section, and that's where you can have the different colored backgrounds. You'll see this copy row. I'm going to click copy row, and you'll see it pops up telling you've successfully copied it. Then I'm going to go back to my blank page, and you'll see here at the top says add row. So you just click add row. I'm just going to keep it one column, keep it simple. And at the top, now you're going to see on the other side this clipboard, and you can click that, paste. And you'll see I've actually pasted in the row I've copied. Now I'm going to go back to my webinar page, and now I'm going to copy this blue row. So copy, confirmation comes up, go back to my page, paste. And there you go. Without having to do anything, I've brought over that same look that they saw when they signed up. It's got the title, it's got everything that I need. So now what I need to do is I just need to add a video player. You only have one choice. And here's where you get to pick the type. So because I'm going to be broadcasting live, if you remember in the Hangout video, I showed where you can get that embed code. You would just choose embed. You paste your Google Hangout code in here, insert, and when you hit live broadcast, this video on your page is now where it's going to broadcast your video. Now, let me fast forward and go get a YouTube link. Okay, so I went and I got an embed code of a video. Now here, you can enter just a URL. If you have storage on a site like Amazon S3, or you just have a link for your video, here's where you put the URL. If you don't know what that means, don't worry about it. You don't need it. Or if it's just saved on YouTube, you can enter that here. But I'm using an embed code. So I'm going to post in the embed there. It's from a Hangout I did. I just want to do this so you can actually see on the page what a video looks like. and insert. Because I don't have my Hangout code yet, the live site would actually not show the video. So I put that in there just so when I show you what the page looks like when it's done, you get to see the video. Now, I mean, again, this is pretty much all I want. What I normally tend to do on this page as well is right at the top, I'm going to add an element. I'm going to add a headline. And I'm just going to say goes live. And remember, mine's December 25th, because that's when I made it. And at 7 and insert. Just so that, again, when people come to your page, they see, okay, yeah, it goes live then. It's not live yet. So they know, I told them to bookmark this page. This is the page they're going to come back to, that I'm going to send them back to in the autoresponders when I go live, so they can watch the thing. And now remember, I want to add comments. Start typing comments. You'll see you can add WordPress comments. You can add Facebook comments. I'm just going to use Facebook comments. Why? Because I like them. They're easy. They're clean. And what's good about Facebook comments, people can actually respond to each other. So whenever I do webinars, I like to ask questions. So with a chat box, it flies by. So unless you have someone moderating the chat box for you, it's hard to keep track of who's asking questions. So that's one of the reasons why I like Facebook comments over a chat box. Why I like Facebook comments as well is because you can get that extra, yes, of course, if people share it to their wall, you get that extra social share. But you also let people, it gives a thread. If someone asks a question, someone else attending the webinar can actually apply to that question and give an answer or reply to a comment that I make. So it lets it become a little more social and people get to reply to each other. So what I'm going to do, give it a title. So let's just say I say, feel free to ask any questions you may have ahead of time. Language, no, not Afrikaans. I'm just going to put English. Number of posts to show. They recommend 10. I say, boo your recommendation. I'm saying show 30 posts. And if you wanted, let's say you had Facebook comments from a previous page or video, you can enter that link here and it'll drag those comments into here. I don't like doing that. I like fresh comments. And insert. This is all you see. Facebook comments. But don't worry, this will actually show up as Facebook comments on the live page. So again, give me a minute and I'll show you what that looks like. So I'm going to save this progress and continue. Take one last little look. I mean, you know what? That's probably enough. This is probably good enough. So what I'm going to do is publish, save and close. And I'm going to find that live page and I'm going to view it. Excellent. So I just brought in code from the last webinar I did, but this is exactly what the page is going to look like now. And you'll see here, people can ask their Facebook questions, also post to Facebook. This is where they can, if they just want to have a private conversation, they can deselect that. So you've got your live webinar page where people are going to come to a page like this. And when you go live, I'm going to mute it, but here you can see you're doing your Hangout. I'm sharing slides with them. I'm going through, I'm talking to them. They can watch you live. This is exactly what it looks like for your participants. So just to recap, close this. People land on your page, the first page that we built. They enter their name and email. You have it set up in your autoresponder where as soon as they hit enter, they get brought to this page telling them to go check their email, find the one from you, click confirm, and they'll instantly be brought to the download page or the webinar page. They can close this page, they can share, they can do whatever they want to do, they can click share. It doesn't matter at this point. Or they can just even close that page. Doesn't matter because they're going to go to their email. When they click confirm, it's automatically going to bring them to your download page. And again, if you wanted to download, I'll show you in a second, just really quick how to change that. But I just want you to understand that then they're on this page. In my case, I've asked them to bookmark it. They can ask questions if they want ahead of time. And when I go live with my webinar, I just send out a broadcast to my autoresponder, which I'll show you how to do in a video the next video. And bam, they come to this page. It's done. you're ready. You've got your funnel set up. That's all you need to be able to run webinars. You can just do this again and again and again. Either go back to the pages and edit them with information for your new pages, or you could even come, let's say you want to make a whole new funnel, find your webinar page here, clone page. You can clone these pages, just give them a different name, and you're ready to go. You're ready to send people to a whole new funnel, and you can have multiple funnels going at the same time. I mean, it's just awesome. But the last thing I'll show you, let's say you're not doing a video. This could instead say, click below to get your downloads. And instead of a video, add element, and you can just search downloads, file download. Let's say it's a PDF report you made. You can pick any of the looks here. I like this one that says downloads, add a new download. What type of file is it? Is it a PDF? You select your file from your computer here that you want them to be able to download. You call it something. You can have it where it opens in another window. You can add any description you want here, maybe instructions that go along with it, whatever it is. And insert your downloads. Now, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to select a dummy file from my computer. And once that file's loaded in, you just insert it into the post, click insert, and that's how it shows up. You've got your file, your description would be here. People can either click and open it, or they can just right click save. So again, I'm going to save and close. After you've made edits, you just hit refresh. And you'll see here's my download file where they could click that, open it, and it's good to go. So that's it. That's your funnel. That's all you need to do to be able to do these things. So what I'm going to do in the next video is I'm going to show you how to take this same funnel system and actually use it to build online training programs, maybe online group coaching programs, whatever it is, online products where you actually have it locked behind a payment gateway where people need to pay to be able to access this material. So I'll show you that next video. In the meantime, good luck with this. Have fun with it. If there's anything I didn't cover or you have any questions, feel free to ask them. Let me know. But remember, this is meant, and I know I went through it kind of quickly, but I wanted to go through it in enough detail where you can just keep watching it again and again and literally build it along with me. Give it a try, get it out there, and do your first webinar. Between the Hangout video that I made and this one, you're able to go do webinars right now, tomorrow. So go do it and let me know how it goes. Good luck with it. Thank you very much, and I'll see you on the next video.